innovation, knowledge sharing, and global collaboration in the field of computation and computer technology. Let me begin by extending a most respectful and warm welcome to our esteemed dignitaries, Honorable Professor Manpreet Singh Manna, Vice Chancellor, Chandigarh University, Professor Sachin Ahuja, Executive Director, Institute of Engineering, Professor Meenu Gupta, Program Chair, InCACCT 2025. We are truly privileged and honored by the gracious presence of Honorable Chief Guest Professor M.N. Huda, Director Bharati Vidyapeeth Institute of Computer Application and Management and Chair IEEE Delhi Section. Guest of honor, Professor Abdul Kalam Ansari, Professor in the Department of Electronics, Jamia Millia Islamia University, IEEE Impact Creator and immediate past chair, IEEE Delhi Section. We are equally delighted to welcome our distinguished keynote speaker who have joined us virtually, Dr. Anand Nair, Professor and Scientist, Dutan University, Vietnam, Mr. Raj Mahalingam, IEEE Education Activity Board Credential Committee from United States of America, Mr. Abrar Ahmed Sayed, Data and Analytics, Gainwell Technology from United States of America. He will be the keynote speaker on the second day, that is 18th. We also acknowledge and warmly welcome our session chair who are joining us from across the world. Professor Aisha Mukhtiar from College of Science and Health Professions, Alasha, Saudi Arabia. Mr. Shubham Gupta, Analytics and AI Leader, Noble Soft Solution, Texas from United States of America. Ms. Kushalya Bijayan, Senior Technology Consultant, EY X Food from United States of America. Professor Dr. Krutika Krishnappa from Department of Computer Science, Southern University and A&M College, United States of America. Mr. Manush Sharma, Senior IT Solution Architect, Valley Health System, Winchester from United States of America. Mr. Channa Keshva Mittu, Vice President Technology, Bank of America Corporation from United States of America. Mr. Chandrakeshwar Rao Katru, Lead Software Engineer, Indian Land, United States from United States of America. Dr. Amudhave Jayawal, Faculty of Computing, Engineering and Media, De Montfort University from United Kingdom. Dr. Nikhil Bara from UIT Kurukshetra University, India. Professor Abneet Kumar from Sangam University, India. Mr. Shankara Reddy Thamma, DC Technical Delivery Master 2, Deloitte Consulting from United States of America. Professor Dr. Noor Jaman Janji from Taylor University, Malaysia. Professor Rachna Jain, IT Department, Bhagwan Parshuram Institute of Technology, India. Professor Ashish Kumar from Bennett University. Mr. Padma Reddy Dasri, Senior Engineer, Expert in Application Performance and Cloud Migration from United States of America. And Ananya Ghosh, Center of AIoT and Application Interdisciplinary Research Division, IIT Jodhpur. I also take this opportunity to welcome all the dignitaries present of the dais, the esteemed faculty member, research scholars, students, and global participants joining us today. As we embark on this journey together, I would like to take a few moments to share my thoughts on significance of this year's theme and its relevance to current times. We live in a world that is rapidly evolving and transforming, where technology plays a significant role in shaping our lives. The field of computation and computation technology is no exception, and this conference is particularly relevant in today's world as it focuses on the latest research development in computer science. As we gather here today, we must acknowledge the importance of our discussion and deliberation in achieving sustainable solution, which is also emphasized by the United Nations through the Sustainable Development Goal. In addition, computer science continue play a critical role in addressing current industrial demand worldwide. The theme of the conference is thoughtfully designed to cover four key tracks: artificial intelligence, computing, machine vision, computer technology trends. Throughout this conference, we are honored to host a galaxy of intellectual keynote speaker and presenter who will share their insights on advancement in computation and computer technologies. I encourage each one of you to actively participate, interact, and exchange ideas with speakers and experts. In conclusion, I express my sincere gratitude to our sponsor, partner, and hardworking organizing team. I wish all the participants to a fruitful, inspiring, and enriched conference experience. Before I close, I would like to apprise to the House. In this year, we receive about the paper that is 2,116 paper. Out of that, after a rigorous review by the reviewers, we accepted only 172 paper in this conference. So I congratulate to all the authors whose paper has been selected in this conference and going to present today their research in this particular event. Once again, thank you so much for all of you. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for setting the perfect tone for the event. Now, let's give a warm round of applause to Professor Dr. Abdul Qayyum Ansari, guest of honor for Jamia Millia Islamia. With an academic journey spanning over 4 decades, Professor Ansari has made significant contribution to the fields of electrical engineering, soft computing, and cybersecurity. His research encompasses areas such as high-performance semiconductor devices, bioinstrumentation, and microwave patch antennas. Beyond his corollary pursuits, he has held esteemed positions, including Dean at Jamia Hamdard and Chairman of IEEE Delhi Section. So, I invite you to address the gathering and share your thoughts. Thank you.
Good morning. Most respected Vice Chancellor, Professor Manna, my colleague and friend in IEEE, Professor Emin Hora, the Chairman of IEEE Delhi Section, Professor Ahuja, Professor Meenu, and other colleagues, Professor Rakesh, a very important person in the Computational Intelligence Society in IEEE. It's a great pleasure for me to be here on this occasion, attending the conference, which has a very rare distinction of selecting less than 10% of the submissions that have happened in this conference. Very rare. Most of the conferences worldwide that happen, the rejection rate is almost around 70 to 75%, but here you rejected more than 90% papers that were submitted to this conference. So this itself speaks about the quality and the care that you have taken in selecting the papers. And of course, subsequently, they will be subjected and for further review and submitted to the IEEE Explore, and it will come online directly. So I believe that much of the effort that has gone into it by the dear colleagues and friends of this university, Chandigarh University, it's a moment to cherish for all of us. The theme of the conference that has been very ably described by the organizer and the chair of the conference, Professor Rakesh Kumarji, the computation and the computational intelligence. These are two very correlated words. Computation happens with numbers. Computation happens with functions. But if the numbers are not plain numbers, there is a different type of computation and it requires intelligence to compute. For example, 5 is a number, but about 5 is also a number. But how do you describe about 5 in mathematical terms. 5 to 6 is also a number that ordinarily comprehend that fx is a function, but about fx. So these intelligent representations of the human aspect of any mathematical formula were developed starting from the time of Lutfi Zadeh, who was the propounder of the concept of fuzzy logic. And anything in life which is ambiguous, uncertain, ill-defined, he provided a mathematical way of representing them. You know, mathematical formulas and the models are available for which there is a distinct, identified, the system, and we don't have any ambiguity in them. But the system for which there is no definition, there is no model, it is only experienced by the human. And we understand those languages which we speak mostly. Nobody tells the temperature of water to be, it is 30 degrees Celsius. Garm hai pani. But then how hot it is? Is it warm, lukewarm, hot, extremely hot? So all these hedges of the human distinction have been identified, and they have been given a mathematical modeling by Lutfi Zadeh. Further to it, there were further distinctions and intelligence came into it. Likewise, the situations came when the paradoxes came into our life and the people started thinking of providing mathematical modeling to the paradoxes that we have already felt. You may remember the Schrodinger cat theory. You might have gone through it in 12th class. A quantum state of a particle is available at two different points at the same time. I mean, how can one person be present at two different places at the same time? So this is the paradox of life. The Schrodinger wrote a very complex equation to represent this phenomena. And IIT Delhi, when we celebrated the Schrodinger, wave equation, it was told that the world was never the same again after having Schrodinger written the Schrodinger wave equation to represent ambiguity of life. But then simpler way of representing those things also came up later, which made the computer science much easier and representation of computational intelligence become much faster. So his name was Epimenides. Crete Island is in the neighborhood of the place from where all these Socrates and Aristotle, all these people, they come from those areas of the world. So Epimenides once told that all Cretes are liars. All Cretes are liars. So the people came after his life, like the people did for all the philosophers. They always feared their life because they would say something which was not normally acceptable to the society. And therefore, Epimenides was also, people came after his life, and then he told them that, okay, let me explain. Whatever I has told is correct logically. See, all Cretes are liars. And I am also a Crete. So whatever I say is a lie, and therefore you are not liars. This is a paradox. Unless he is true, whatever sentence he said cannot be a lie. All Cretans are not liars, and therefore the Cretans can always be considered as liars. So, this is a mechanism which is represented by the paradox of life, and there is a mathematical formula given by the Florentine Samarandache in US. So with the advent of these kind of computational intelligence mathematics, the computational phenomena has risen, and people have been enjoying the life, and it has contributed immensely to the artificial intelligence field. Why the artificial intelligence have become all of a sudden so important within last half decade. We also studied artificial intelligence when we were students of graduation, using the Lisp, as the programming language, a very crude language, but now you can do much wonders. So because of the abundance of the memory, powerful algorithms, and better languages to represent your emotions, these things have happened. And the role that these algorithms have also played to represent such situations which are very closer to human mind rather than mathematical formulations have also contributed to the field of artificial intelligence. I wish that all these subjects remain fresh in your mind in this conference. And I also invite all of you to take interest in attending those sessions in which the papers are presented. Because these selected papers of 150 odd numbers, they are certainly the best. And the people who would present, they would be keeping out their heart in front of you. So you can understand their feelings and the way the papers have been drafted, and that is where the people have been, involving themselves. So not only you just listen to them, try to understand, and when the proceeding is out, I invite each one of you to please read those proceedings. Proceedings should not become the treasure of your almirahs and the cupboards, but they should be read with honesty, read with the understanding that we will also take care into our researches and will proceed further into these directions. So these are some of my submissions in front of you. I congratulate the organizers of this conference for having done so well. So beautiful audience, the young boys and girls, and my colleagues and friends sitting in front. I mean, this is a mesmerizing event for me. I'm really greatly impressed by this event. I wish the conference a great success. Those delegates who have come here to present their papers in the physical mode, I request them to interact very closely with each other, develop a friendship, and try to keep up with those friendships for a longer period of time. That will help you to grow and flourish in your life. Thank you very much. God bless you all.
Thank you, sir, for your wise thoughts. Now, we are privileged to welcome our chief guest, Professor Dr. M.N. Huda, Director of Bharati Vidyapeeth Institute of Computer Applications and Management, a renowned academician over 25 years. Dr. Huda is widely recognized contributions to computer science, software engineering, and information systems. He has held key positions in professional bodies such as CSI and IEEE, and serves as editor-in-chief of Springer International Journal of Information Technology. His leadership and research have significantly enriched the academic community. So I request you to kindly address the gathering. Thank you.
Good morning to all of you. Professor Manna, the Honorable Vice Chancellor of this great university, presiding over today's inaugural function. My friend and the former immediate past chairperson of IEEE Delhi section, Professor Abdul Qayyum Ansari. Very, very learned friends from this esteemed university, Professor Rakesh Kumar, Professor Sachin Ahuja, Professor Sahgal, and my execom member, Dr. Meenu, very, very learned faculty colleagues from these great institutions. Many of the people who have joined online, session chairpersons, keynote speakers, paper presenters, and all those who are part of this auditorium, the delegates, participants, and dearmost students. It's my privilege to be here. I'm first time visiting Chandigarh University and quite impressed with the kind of the mesmerizing and the very beautiful ambience and the infrastructure which the university has developed. So congratulations to all the promoters, the management, and everyone who is contributing in one or other way in this program. Dear friends, it is said that almost 25 years ago, I wrote two panktis. I am product of Aligarh Muslim University, though a student of computer science, but my passion was, and still it is, in literature and humanities. So I kept doing some shairi. So around 25 years ago, I wrote 2 couplets, and that couplet, while taking view of your university, it was very apt, so I thought we'll recite this. जो सफर की शुरुआत करते हैं वो मंजिल तो पा ही लेते जो सफर की शुरुआत करते हैं वो मंजिल तो पा ही लेते हैं क्योंकि अच्छे मुसाफिर का तो रास्ते भी इंतजार करते हैं. Professor Rakesh and Dr. Minu was in Delhi for the very first Exicom and was doing everything, was telling us, sir, come to our university, this conference is happening. And readily I said yes. And while accepted this invitation and after coming to this place, then I realized I rightly said yes and I should have missed something if I would not have accepted and didn't come here. So congratulations to you. You recently heard that out of 2,000 plus papers, through a series of tough review exercises, they have accepted less than 10%, around 150 to 170 papers. It's a commendable job. If you ask this question to those people who keep on organizing programs, only those people will tell you how much efforts, energy, who nor ne is process को execute करने में लगते हैं. I'm organizing an IEEE conference since last 18 years, and I know कि कितना खून और पसीना इस process में लगता है, कितने efforts लगते हैं, and that much efforts the team from this Chandigarh University have put in, that is worth commendable, and that's why when we travel in the length and the breadth of the country, people keep asking that advancement has happened so much, researches have happened so much. Despite that, you people are encouraging that people should organize such programs in physical manner. And then I reply to them, yes, it is possible in today's time because of huge advancement in the research domain, that one computer is sufficient of doing the job of 1,000 many people put together, but even 1,000 many computers put together is not able to do the job of one extraordinary person. And having such conferences, that too in physical mode, is the purpose to bring those extraordinary people at one platform so that the learning, so that the research collaborations can be fostered. And because of which, again, you had this conference, and conference is in physical. You deserve a special appreciation and congratulations. And I always say, हमने दिया जलाया था, उम्मीद की लौ खड़ी की थी, वो उम्मीद की लौ इस वजह से कि ये जो स्पिरिट है फिजिकल मोड में कॉन्फ्रेंसेस ऑर्गेनाइज करने की, ये जिंदा रहे despite the fact that everywhere in the world people are preferring the online, but the warmth of meeting together, the warmth of networking together, the warmth of bringing those research collaborations when we meet in person will not happen only when you have in online mode, because many of the time when you in online mode, you even do not get opportunity to act with the many of the people. So the purpose of having the conferences, if we do not organize in a physical mode, in person mode, will be lost. And that's why those who organize conferences in a physical mode worth to be appreciated. ये मेरी 4 पंक्तियां उन्हीं के लिए समर्पित हैं कि आशियाने से बढ़कर है फिक्रे चमन, आशियाना तो फिर बना लेंगे हम. एक उम्मीद रख, ये सोचे कि अगर ऑनलाइन होता तो हम घर में बैठे, अपनी ऑफिस में बैठे, शायद अपने बेडरूम में बैठे भी ये प्रोग्राम अटेंड कर सकते थे और आप लोगों से इंटरेक्ट कर सकते थे. बट द kind of the warmth which after coming here and meeting to all of you and likewise for any other person is being received, that would not have happened in that online domain. इस बैकड्रॉप को सामने रख के इन 4 पंक्तियों को देखिए. आशियाना कहते हैं घर को और चमन कहते हैं उस कम्युनिटी को, उस डोमेन को जिसके लिए हम सर्व करते हैं, कि आशियाने से बढ़कर है फिक्रे चमन, आशियाना तो फिर बना लेंगे हम, एक उम्मीद की लौ सलामत रहे, 100 दिए इस दिए से जला लेंगे हम. तो ऐसी कॉन्फ्रेंसेस होती रहें और हम लोग बार बार मिलते रहें. Having said this, friends, all of us know that we are in a pure digital age. And for digital age, the very favorite line of mine is that there is nothing constant in this world except change. How many of you believe in this, that there is nothing constant except change? There is nothing constant on this earth except change. So everyone will have to believe in it, because the world in and around us technologically is changing so fast that if we do not adapt to the changes upfront, possibly the changing ecosystem, the technologically changing ecosystem will completely change us. How many of you know that there is a Nokia company? Nokia company. And you also might be knowing that around 1.5 decades ago, 15 साल पहले तक, नोकिया कंपनी का फीचर फोन 3-4 मॉडल्स उनके फ्लैगशिप मॉडल हुआ करते थे. How many of you now have any of the feature phone of the Nokia which was so prevalent in the 15 years ago? A big round of applause for him. I also maintained a Nokia feature phone. बैटरी खराब होती है, कुछ भी होता है, हफ्ते में एक दिन चार्ज करके मेंटेन करके रखता हूं, चाहे जरूरत पड़े ना पड़े. But a company who was having more than 80% market share, carrying Nokia feature phone with you was something as flagship as you carry Samsung Notes or carry iPhone, the latest model. That phone can be washed off from the market. So you have no option but to believe in that anything and everything can be washed off. Where went Nokia wrong? The only mistake which Nokia committed, that kept relying heavily on the existing strength of the product and didn't realize that changes are happening in the domain and happening very fast. And because of those technological changing ecosystem, they didn't realize that the people will have no option but to say no to my technical strength of the feature phone and will adopt to the new technological changing environment. And then at that moment said no to Android, didn't change. And now people had no option but to change Nokia. And the same company Nokia have got all kind of product in their product profiling, but cannot get that share which the Nokia enjoyed till 15 years ago. This also sends a clear message, not only this message, that however strong you are, however capable you are, if you are not changing in advance, if you are not adaptive, if you are not changing in a proactive manner, the ecosystem will change you. Also a message that after you realize that I have been left behind, if you try to come back, getting that position is impossible. And that is where comes the question that the timing of change is also important. So we have no option but to, and that's why I have connected my 4 पंक्तिज with गालिब क्योंकि साथ कि इंसान घर बदलता है, लिबास बदलता है, रिश्ते बदलता है, दोस्त बदलता है. अपने चाइल्डहुड से लेकर और अभी तक अगर हम इमेजिन करें तो हम घर बदलते हैं, लिबास बदलते हैं, रिश्ते बदलते हैं, दोस्त बदलते हैं. इंसान घर बदलता है, लिबास बदलता है, रिश्ते बदलता है, दोस्त बदलता है, फिर भी परेशान क्यों रहता है? क्योंकि हम अपने आप को नहीं बदलते. एंड दैट इज व्हाई द गालिब की ये 2 पंक्तियां बिल्कुल एप्ट होती हैं कि उम्र भर गालिब यही भूल करता रहा, धूल चेहरे पे थी और मैं आईना साफ करता रहा. एक बड़ा डोमेन है. आई एम फाउंडर एडिटर इन चीफ ऑफ ए जर्नल. 7,000 papers I received for that journal in a year. I started journal in the year 2009 when getting 20 papers were very, very absolutely difficult. Had no option but to talk to my friends on phone कि आपके पास आपके डिपार्टमेंट में 40 स्कॉलर्स हैं, 2 पेपर मुझे इस इशू के लिए चाहिए. अब वो कहते थे कोई इंडेक्सिंग नहीं है, आपके पास कोई बिब्लियोमेट्रिक्स नहीं है, हमारे स्कॉलर के पेपर वेस्ट होंगे. मैं उन्हें कहता था कुछ भरोसा रखिए, ये आने वाले दिनों में इंडेक्सिंग होगी, चूंकि अच्छे पेपर तब इंडेक्सिंग होगी. सो इन 2009-12 फॉर ए जर्नल व्हिच आई स्टार्टेड फ्रॉम ए स्मॉल कॉलेज, getting 20 paper was difficult. Now I'm getting 7,000 paper because it is a Scopus index published by Springer Nature from Singapore, and the CITE score which in the year 2017 was 0.1 has raised to now 8.6. Having said that, authors keep, it is still a free journal, no charges if you publish a paper up to 6 pages, and 6 पेज से ज्यादा अगर है तो 2,000 रुपए सिर्फ एक एक्स्ट्रा पेज चार्जेस पर पेज लगते हैं. बाकी एब्सोल्युटली फ्री जर्नल है, पब्लिश्ड बाय स्प्रिंगर नेचर. अब ऑथर्स फाइट करते हैं. एआई का जमाना है, जनरेटिव एआई का जमाना है, एडवांसमेंट इन कंप्यूटिंग टेक्नोलॉजीज है, आपकी थीम उस पे बेस्ड है, कंप्यूटेशन एंड कंप्यूटर टेक्नोलॉजीज. तो अगर हमने कुछ चीजें ली हैं लेकिन वो किसी के रिसर्च की चोरी नहीं है, किसी के रिसर्च से हमने लिया, कॉपी पेस्ट नहीं किया है, सो हाउ डज इट मैटर एंड व्हाई इट इज कंसिडर्ड एज ए प्लैगियरिज्म? समझ रहे आप? और फिर प्लैगियरिज्म पे डिस्कशन करते हैं कि द सॉफ्टवेयर वेदर इट इज ऑथेंटिकेट और टर्न इट इन, They give only the similarity index. They are not telling the plagiarism. और आप हमारा पेपर रिजेक्ट कर रहे हैं सर. अच्छा, हमारे पास एज एन एडिटर इन चीफ और एज ए पब्लिशिंग हाउस ऑप्शन क्या है? विदाउट द फैक्ट, या तो एआई को मैं एक वर्चुअल ऑथर बनाऊं उस पेपर के अंदर, that AI is also one of the author, generative AI is one of the author, or otherwise, if the authors are not listing the AI, I have no option but understanding this, that the authors who claim to be the author of the paper is not solely written by them. The paper has been taken from some virtual author, so-called generative AI. So what option I have to reject the paper? Having said this, people जब फाइट करते हैं तो मैंने कहता हूं कि आप एआई को उसी गालिब की पंक्तियों के जैसे यूज कर रहे हैं कि उम्र भर गालिब यही भूल करता रहा, धूल चेहरे पे थी और मैं आईना साफ करता रहा. हमें एआई को या जनरेटिव एआई को किस हद तक यूज करना है, किस एक्सटेंट तक यूज करना है, कितना बेनिफिट लेना है और कहां तक उसको एज ए सप्लीमेंट्री मटेरियल यूज करना है, और वो कौन सा मटेरियल जब आप जनरेटिव एआई से यूज करते हैं तो उसको अपना रिसर्च क्लेम करना चाहिए या नहीं करना चाहिए, ये हमें कहीं तो बाउंड्री लाइन बनानी पड़ेगी. ना कि एआई को दोष देना पड़ेगा, ना कि दोष देना पड़ेगा. So my dear friends, change is the way of life and we need change, and I'm happy after coming to this university that great changes have happened. I've spoken about AI, and who in this audience will say that I'm not using AI? AI is such an omnipresent. Anyone who can say that I'm not using AI? So everyone in one or other way is using. You go to villages, go to any tribal area, yet people are using AI. Many of you are from engineering sciences. So not to tell you that what AI is doing, can tell you in one line that artificial intelligence, and with the advent of all these successive AI domains, I've taught 15 years AI. When people used to ask AI क्या होगा, और आप में से बहुत सारे लोगों ने एलन रिच की बुक पढ़ी भी होगी और पढ़ाई भी होगी, ड्राई बुक हुआ करती थी और ऐसा लगता था हम बस एक सब्जेक्ट के जैसे पढ़ा रहे हैं, इसका कोई मार्केट एप्लीकेशंस नहीं होगा. आज इंजीनियर्स नहीं, मेडिकल प्रोफेशनल्स नहीं, आप एआई देखें, सोशल साइंटिस्ट हमसे एआई यूज कर रहे हैं, कॉमर्स डोमेन में एआई यूज कर रहे हैं, सो मच सो कि 15 साल पहले से इलेक्शन के डोमेन में भी आर्टिफिशियल इंटेलिजेंस का मैसिव यूटिलाइजेशन शुरू हो गया है. तो मैं हमेशा कहता हूं कि द आर्टिफिशियल इंटेलिजेंस इज सच ए डोमेन, और द रिसर्चर्स हैव कम टू दैट लेवल दैट एआई इज गोइंग टू हेल्प फ्रॉम किचन टू कोर्ट एंड फ्रॉम स्मार्ट टाउन प्लानिंग टू मेडिकल डायग्नोसिस. इंप्लाइज व्हाट? अगर आप बड़े जर्नल्स, ट्रेंड्स पढ़ें या नेचर पढ़ें या IEEE स्पेक्ट्रम पढ़ें, तो आपको समझ में आ कि 5 to 10 years डाउन द लाइन ना तो प्रोफेशनल कुक की जरूरत पड़ेगी, ना प्रोफेशनल लॉयर की जरूरत पड़ेगी फॉर ऑलमोस्ट 90% ऑफ द प्रॉब्लम्स, ना ही बहुत बढ़िया स्मार्ट टाउन प्लानर की जरूरत पड़ेगी, और ना ही आपको बहुत बढ़िया कोई ऐसा कोई एक्सपर्ट चाहिए जो डायग्नोस करे रिपोर्ट देख के. द AI enabled softwares will do job for you. That is the kind of the length and breadth, versatility and diversity of the applications of the AI. The second important aspect, the searches which is happening in the domain of particularly the large scale sequencing, coupled with artificial intelligence in general. And if you add machine learning in particular, in 5 to 10 years down the line, is going to make every one of us the CEO of our own health. And then possibly 5 to 10 years down the line, for 90% of the problems, people will never go to the doctor. And in many of the Europe and America, people have started sensitizing people that if you are not super SP, you will lose your job. For traditional and routine problems, people will not go to the doctors because the software is going to enable that facility that you will automatically come to know, and then related diagnosis and prescription will also be possible. The kind of the researches which is happening in the domain of the kind of the virtual reality, augmentation, human-computer interaction, human-machine interaction, etc., etc. If you try to understand, very soon there will be no need of carrying such kind of flagship smartphones along with us, and then looking on this and maybe through voice interaction, dialing a number, a small interface maybe on your button, on your pen, or any of your wearable device, even this flagship watches will not be required, will be sufficient enough to have the capability what the best possible iPhones or Samsung Galaxy Notes are having at this particular moment. That's the kind of the researches in the domain of human-computer interaction and a kind of augmentation and virtual reality is happening. And then possibly with large-scale cognitivity, researches in large-scale cognitivity and reflexive computing domain, which is on the card, that possibly will be just you imagine whom to connect and a connection will be established. If I enable my wearable interface on the wearable devices and just मन्ना से बात करनी थी और कॉल एस्टैब्लिश हो जाएगी प्रोफेसर मन्ना, that kind of reflexive and intuitionist computing we are looking forward on the card. That's advances happening. But having said all these kind of advancement and many more deliberations will keep on happening in next 2 days of the program, my request to all of you, जो प्रोफेसर अंसारी साहब यहाँ से रिक्वेस्ट करके गए हैं कि पेपर किताबों के तरह से मेंटेन होगा, क्या पेपर लाइब्रेरी के शेल्फ पे रहेगा या पेपर हमारी और आपकी लाइफ में आएगा, तो मैं even government of India has started promoting that whatever researches you are doing, whatever publications you are trying to make it as translational as possible. When I'm talking as translational as possible, that even for any of the country and for India, which is a very diverse and diverse country having huge diversity across the country, there are huge problems. There are n number of issues which have not yet been solved and for which not yet been applications have been applied. So if you are writing paper, make it as translational as possible so that some or other problem of our day-to-day life, some or other problem of our society can be taken up. That problem, if we take it up and patent it, because it has become a kind of debate whether you publish first or you patent first. When we reject a paper out of a simple fact that the intermediate results you claim is encouraging, but you have not mentioned in your paper. You claim that your research methodology is different, and with this different research methodology, the input which you are giving or the data set which you are executing on your research methodology is giving you absolutely novel result, but the result is not available in the paper. Unless I am not in a position to get convinced that this result is original, genuine, and is coming out of your research methodology based on the input data set, how can I accept your paper? And then the reply from the authors which I receive as an editor-in-chief of the journal, that my research is very novel and I'm afraid of the fact that people may steal it and publish it in their own name. So I have not written. And then as an editor-in-chief, I have no option, again rejecting the paper, reiterating my decision and telling that this fear factor, and because of this fear factor, you are not citing your reproducible or verifiable research methodology in your paper. Then you don't submit paper for publication. First, go and get it patented first. आप जाएं और पेटेंट कराएं और पेटेंट होने के बाद फिर पब्लिकेशन के लिए कराएं. लेकिन पेटेंटेड एक बड़ी बिजनेस शुरू हो गई है. All across the country, the thousands of patents are happening in the nation. Government is also through IPR cell is promoting, but we have to realize that those patents are going to solve the problems of day-to-day life or not. Patents also translational into nature. उन पेटेंट की हेल्प से मैं कोई प्रोडक्ट और सर्विस अपनी समाज, अपनी सोसाइटी के लिए लेके आ सकता हूं, जिस प्रोडक्ट और सर्विस की वजह से कोई तो प्रॉब्लम हमारी, मे बी गार्बेज कलेक्शन की प्रॉब्लम हो, मे बी सर्विलेंस की प्रॉब्लम हो, मे बी सिविक एमिनिटीज की प्रॉब्लम हो, और ये सारी प्रॉब्लम सिविक के लोग सॉल्व नहीं करेंगे. ये कंप्यूटर साइंटिस्ट का काम है सॉल्व करना, ये इंजीनियर्स का काम है सॉल्व करना. सो हमारे रिसर्चेस से अगर ये प्रॉब्लम सॉल्व नहीं हो रही और हमारा पेटेंट अगर ट्रांसलेशनल नहीं बन रहा, then sorry to inform you and sorry to tell you, ये नंबर्स हो सकते हैं, इससे हमारा बायोडाटा बहुत स्ट्रांग बन सकता है, लेकिन जो हमारी सोसाइटी में है वो वहीं की वहीं रहेंगी. तो जब भी मैं रिसर्च ऑथर्स को और ऐसी गैदरिंग को और यंग स्टूडेंट्स को एड्रेस करता हूं, मैं कहता हूं हमें अपने फोकस को शिफ्ट करना पड़ेगा, अपने अप्रोच और अपने परसेप्शन में एक चेंज लाना पड़ेगा. जिस चेंज की मैंने बात की थी कि देयर इज ओनली कांस्टेंट फिनोमेना ऑन दिस अर्थ इज चेंज, एंड इफ वी डू नॉट चेंज अप फ्रंट देन द इकोसिस्टम विल चेंज अस. तो वो चेंज ये है, हम ये कि whatever we are doing, whichever domain we are doing, thinking that whether this research, this activity is going to bring some product or services in the society, or otherwise the same or other problem the society is being changed, being transformed or not. That's an important concern which all of us need to address. Having said this, 2-3 minutes I will, because very young audience and students, The second important aspect, because the researches in computing has taken that copy paste करते हैं, हम अपने काम के लिए खुद ही genuinely जिम्मेदार अपने को नहीं पाते हैं. हमें ऐसा लगता है कि ये repetitive काम है, हम क्यों इसके लिए अपनी एनर्जी लगाएं. And let's reuse. Reusability is an important attribute of software quality. Let's reuse the existing work, but you have to understand where to reuse it and where to produce it. That balance you need to take. जहां ऐसी चीजें हैं जिनके लिए आप कोई क्रेडिट क्लेम नहीं कर रहे, वहां तो रीयूजेबिलिटी अलाउड है. लेकिन हर वो काम जिसका क्रेडिट आप लेना चाहते हैं, चाहे इन टर्म्स ऑफ नंबर लेना चाहे, इन टर्म्स ऑफ मार्क्स लेना चाहे, इन टर्म्स ऑफ कॉपीराइट लेना चाहे, वहां हमें और आपको ये रियलाइज करना पड़ेगा कि हमें वो प्रोड्यूस करना है. और इस पर्पस से हमेशा मैं कहता हूं, शॉर्टकट लाइफ में अप्लाई नहीं करना, हमेशा प्रोसेस ड्रिवन रहना. IEEE कॉन्फ्रेंस है और सबसे स्टैंडर्ड प्रोसेस की डेफिनेशन IEEE की आपको मिल सकती है. आप देखें, लाइफ में प्रोसेस ड्रिवन रहना. एक क्विक एग्जांपल मैं आपको देके और कंक्लूड करना चाहूंगा कि प्रोसेस का महत्व, प्रोसेस की वैल्यू, प्रोसेस की इंपॉर्टेंस हमारी लाइफ में कितनी है. कि एक बार हम लोग अलीगढ़ मुस्लिम यूनिवर्सिटी के स्टूडेंट थे और जब हम ट्रेन में वैकेशंस में जाया करते थे तो हमारे पास कंफर्म टिकट भी नहीं हुआ करता था. और ट्रेन के अंदर जो जनरल कंपार्टमेंट में फैन होते थे वो फैन भी नहीं चलता था. इमेजिन दिस बैकड्रॉप, दिस बैकग्राउंड कि हम ट्रेन में जनरल कंपार्टमेंट में बैठे हैं, वहां फैन नहीं चल रहा और एक वेंडर ट्रेन पे, इलिटरेट वेंडर रेलवे स्टेशन पे हैंड फैन पता है आपको? जो विलेजेस से आए हैं उनको हैंड फैन अच्छे से होगा. हैंड फैन बेच रहा हो एंड ही वाज रेजिंग ए स्लोगन, दो इन इलिटरेट पर्सन बट रेजिंग ए स्लोगन लाइक एन MBA गाय. 10 रुपए का एक एंड 20 रुपए का 3. हम 6 बच्चे ट्रेन में, हमें लगता है 40 रुपए देने से हमें 6 फैन मिले. हमने 2 फैन फ्री में मिला है और इस 6 फैन को हम एक एक डिस्ट्रीब्यूट करेंगे. वी आर गोइंग टू आवर विलेज, वहां भी काम आएगा. आफ्टर कमिंग टू आवर हॉस्टल, हॉस्टल में भी इलेक्ट्रिसिटी कट होती है बहुत बार लोड शेडिंग की वजह से, सो हॉस्टल में भी काम आएगा. वी पेड $40, टुक 6 फैंस. इनिशियली वी थॉट कि अभी थैले में डालते हैं, बैग में डाल लेते हैं, बट आफ्टर आवर एंड सो रियलाइज के काफी हीट है कंपार्टमेंट में, सो लेट्स स्टार्ट यूजिंग इट. हमने अगले मोमेंट सबने अपने अपने फैन निकाले और यूज करना शुरू किया और अगले 15 से 20 मिनट में जब फैन यूज किया तो सारे फैन टूट गए. इमेजिन कहां प्लान है कि विलेज में यूज होगा, वापस हॉस्टल में आके यूज करेंगे और सारे के सारे फैन टूट गए. अब बहुत ही एनॉइंग, डिस्टर्बिंग सिचुएशन बनता है. सब अपने थैले में रख लेते हैं और अगला प्लान ये तैयार करते हैं. स्टूडेंट्स, यंग जनरेशन बहुत स्ट्रांग इन देयर प्लानिंग. अगला प्लान ये तैयार होता है, वी विल नॉट डिस्कस दिस इवन इन आवर फैमिली, बिकॉज वो कहेंगे ऐसे वेस्ट करते हो आप. हम जब वापस आएंगे ऑन आवर रीट, विल ट्राई टू फाइंड द वेंडर हु वाज सेलिंग दिस फैन एंड विल ट्राई टू इंश्योर दैट ही टेक्स ऑल दीस ब्रोकन फैन्स बैक एंड रिटर्न्स आवर मनी. एंड देन व्हाइल रिटर्निंग, द स्टूडेंट्स वर वेरी कॉशियस एनफ कि वो स्टेशन निकल ना जाए और वो वेंडर को हम ढूंढ ही लें. और फाइनली उन्होंने वो वेंडर को ढूंढ लिया ऑन रिटर्न. और वेंडर को ढूंढने के बाद अंदर कंपार्टमेंट में इशारा करके बुलाया. वेंडर केम हैप्पीली एज इफ ही इज गोइंग टू सेल मोर फैन, बट व्हेन ही केम एट द प्लेस एंड इन द कंपार्टमेंट ऑफ द बॉयज, सो बॉयज ने वो कुल 6 ब्रोकन फैन निकाला और वापस उनको दे के बताया कि तुम्हारे फैन की क्वालिटी बहुत पुअर स्टैंडर्ड है. क्वालिटी पे बड़ी बात होती है, चाहे कॉन्फ्रेंस की क्वालिटी की बात हो या रिसर्च पेपर की क्वालिटी की बात हो. तो ये अपने फैंस वापस ले लो, हमारे पैसे रिटर्न करो, because that is hard saved, not even hard saved money of VS of our pocket money. But vendor was not ready to take back the fan, and then they started entering into a heated exchange of argument. An elderly person could be a teacher in the same compartment. He said that stop it, jagda mat karo, stop it. Tell me what has happened. Why you two people are fighting? Two groups are fighting here. And then both of them narrated their stories. After understanding the stories of both the parties, the elderly person asked the vendor to take those 6 fans and return their $40 back. But the vendor was not ready. And vendor told to the elderly person that for no fault of mine, you want to penalize me? Elderly person said, look, I can see that this hand fan which you are selling is of very poor standard. It will not last. And these are students first, that it will be difficult on this railway platform any sell fans here because they will sensitize everyone. So the solution, the amicable solution is to return their money and take your broken fans. Whatever you are doing, do it. I'm not going to change entire society. Then that vendor replied, sir, this is an innovative product. It has a different process to be used. This is an innovative product. It has a different process to be used. हम सॉफ्टवेयर बनाते हैं, साथ में मैनुअल लिखते हैं, यूजर मैनुअल लिखते हैं, टेक्निकल मैनुअल लिखते हैं, हर तरह के इंस्टॉल ऑपरेशनल मैनुअल लिखते हैं. तो फैन के साथ कोई मैनुअल नहीं आया था. अब वो वेंडर ये बता रहा है, this is an innovative fan, it has a different process to be used. Because they have not used the process, they have applied some shortcut technique, so they have damaged their fan. How am I responsible for this? And then the elderly person asked him, I'm 70 plus and you are telling this hand fan has a different process to be used. First tell me what's the process to use this fan. And then he said that, hold fan like this, move your head like this, the fan will never. That's the value of a process. So my dear friends, whatever work in whichever domain you are doing, please believe that process. मैं प्रोसेस की डेफिनेशन नहीं बताऊंगा यहां से, आप किताबों में पढ़ सकते हैं, सॉफ्टवेयर इंजीनियरिंग की बुक में पढ़ सकते हैं, प्रेसमैन ने भी अपनी डेफिनेशन दी है, और IEEE आपके पास सबसे बेस्ट पॉसिबल रिसोर्स है जो आप ऑथेंटिक डेफिनेशन समझ सकते हैं प्रोसेस की क्या है. So be process driven in the life, whatever you are doing. Whether you are writing a paper, research paper, you are completing an assignment, society, or maybe so you are going to prepare and file a patent. Be process driven into the nature is the first and the foremost approach. All these accreditation complement to the entire university management. Almost all possible accreditation nationally and internationally is available with this Chandigarh University. But all these accreditation models have got one thing in common, that all these models are quality improvement models by improving the processes. आप इतनी सारी विजिट्स हुई होंगी, वो सबसे पहले पूछते हैं प्रोसेस दिखाइए. आप आउटकम दिखाते हैं, कहते हैं पहले प्रोसेस फिर आउटकम और फिर हमारे कोई सजेशंस होंगे तो हम देंगे. सो ऑल दीज मॉडल्स आर प्रोसेस इंप्रूवमेंट. बाय इंप्रूविंग योर प्रोसेसेस क्वालिटी कैन बी इंप्रूव्ड. सो बी प्रोसेस ड्रिवन इन लाइफ. Second important aspect connected to this is, in whichever domain, conferences are also a big facilitator for that purpose, that you get an ample opportunity to work in environment. I always claim that working in a team is something like working in a kind of the members of the team, most of the time the team is assigned to you. So teachers also get an opportunity to work in a team, and you as students also get an opportunity to work in a team. Working alone and working in with a diverse team and being a team member is absolutely different kind of attitude. And if you do not have that team ability to work in a team, your project, your outcome may not have the desired result. And that's why I always say that when I ask my students or my teachers in a group of 10 members that this project you 10 people will be doing, they say, yes, sir. But the moment I ask, the moment I return back from the class, out of 10, 7 of them comes back to me and tell me, sir, वो 3 member हमारे टीम के, उनकी वेवलेंथ अलग है, उनके सोचने का तरीका अलग है, उनके काम करने का तरीका अलग है, और वो मोर और लेस कुछ काम नहीं करते हैं, उनको हमारी टीम से हटा दीजिए. We 7 people are capable of doing the complete work, will do that. As a teacher हमारी जिम्मेदारी है सभी को ग्रूम करना. And when I ask them कि नहीं वो ठीक है, मुझे पता है, but I have purposefully, deliberately put those 3 members also in your team. So look forward कि आप उन्हें इंस्पायर करेंगे अपने अच्छे काम से और उन्हें ग्रूम करेंगे. So after having said that, then पता है बच्चे very strong in their applications. So वो कहते हैं सर आपने क्लास में पढ़ाया था 0 and 1 होता है. अभी प्रोफेसर अंसारी साहब लोथफी ज़ादे का जिक्र करके गए और फजी का फाउंडेशन आपको 5 and about